Hi everyone, in this lecture we will discuss access modifiers, right? So in the previous video we discussed about objects and classes and some basics about OOPs, right? So in that video I told you that we will discuss access modifiers later. So now we're going to discuss access modifier in slight detail, not in complete detail, right? So in C++, right, class is a programming feature. If we try to create analogy with real life of a class can represent any entity like a human, like a building, right, a concept, right, it's an entity, or you can say according to real life it's a concept, right? So to understand this lecture, let's take example. Let's take class as a department, right? Any government department or department of a private organization or anything, right? So in a department there are, or in any organization there are some departments which are private, which are there for internal use only, right? For example, the analysis department, which the job of that department is to analyze the data given by the marketing team, and they have to give that analysis to some other team, right? So there is no public interaction in that department. So the public, the normal public should not have access to that department, because that department can also analyze the secret information, right? So how to do that without OOPs? It's not possible, right? Without access modifiers it's not possible to control the access, right? So that's why the access modifiers come in the picture. So what access modifiers really are, it's a really uh, you know the name explains all, but what actually, how they are implemented in C++, right? So access modifiers are basically keywords, right? So as the name suggests, access modifiers are access controllers which control the outside access to the data members or the member functions. Just like there is some department the public should not have access to, right? So let's move ahead. There are three types of access modifiers in C++: public, private, and protected. In this lecture, we will discuss only public and private access modifiers, not protected, because to understand protected we need to learn inheritance first, right? So what is public access modifier? Public access modifier is to declare something, like, right, if a means it's obviously a keyword, right? So again it's a keyword, and if any data member or a member function is declared or defined inside uh, public access modifier. In short, all the data members and member functions with public access modifiers can be accessed from outside, right? So public can access to, for example, in any IT company, the clients have access to the support department, right? The support department will have the public privileges, right? And it doesn't matter if you talk about C++, the object is in the same file or a different file, right? As long as you are importing that file, you can access it, right? So let's move ahead with private access modifier. The private access modifier is like some internal function or internal data members. So it will not be accessed from the outside object, whether the object is in same file even, right? Yeah, if the function is in same class, obviously class is like a family and we can access it. So outside access means with the help of object or something. If the data member is private, we can't access it, right? So let's see this example. It's like an analogy. I've created this example just to make you understand how the things work, right? If we know something about our own body, we know we have muscles, but we cannot directly use them, right? We can use only legs, but our legs, right, will use muscles. So that's how private things work, right? So private data members or private member functions work. So if we are moving our legs, then our muscles are already involved. Obviously we don't have direct access to our muscles, right? But because they are private. So if the class is human, right, if the concept is of human, the muscles will be private, but the legs will be public, right? So by that thing, I guess that way you can easily relate, right? anything which is not accessible by the which the public has not access to is private, right? And protected is let's see this in little bit detail. It's a special type of access modifier in which the data member or member function will be accessible publicly but not through the child class. So how the child class and all the things work we will see later, so let's just forget it for now and let's see, let's move forward. Yeah, so this is a class, right? There are member functions or data member, doesn't matter. If it has the public privileges, then outside access is allowed. If it's private privileges, the access is not allowed. So the diagram is very well, can very well explain, right? So it's self-explanatory. So let's see some basic program, right? Before program, let's let's see the basic program first. So this is our C++ file, and this is our namespace standard, and this is our main function, right? Before function, I guess we should create a class. Let the class is some IT company, right? So I guess we all belongs to some IT field or any businesses, so I guess we can understand it. So let's create some what is private and what is public, right? So actually by default, if I create any function here, for example void analysis, right? So by default that analysis will be private because if I don't declare anything here, by default everything will be private. So by default in C++ class, the private is the default. In other languages it all depends, right? So the customer will not have direct access, right? And right, so this is the int main, and let's create the object of this class. IT company, let's say any company, we can say ABC, right? So ABC dot support, ABC dot support, right? So let's run this and let's see if it's working or not, right? Yeah, the customer can access this department. In place of this, let's see support, right? So at the runtime we can see. So let's see if ABC or the company can access the analysis the department directly or not. Let's see. I guess it should not, because yeah, it's an error, right? Void IT company analysis is private within this context. And let's see if the support can access the analysis department or not, right? Let's see. Yeah, the customer can access support department. The customer will not have direct access. The customer can access it via the support department. Right. So that's how the things work. That's how actually this is the use of access modifiers. To make things more clear, let's put it private here, right? I guess you already saw that it's private because by default, if we don't declare any access modifier, everything will be private, right? Yeah, and this is the whole picture of private and public, right? So protected we'll see a little bit later in the inheritance when we'll discuss inheritance, but for now, only public and private, these two things should be clear, right? And let's move ahead. What is data privacy? So yeah, what happens here is sometimes we declare the data members, right? Like in X or Y or anything. If you want to declare something, for example, sales, huh, after so these kind of things are meant to be private, right? They will only be accessible to limited people, like some investors or the people, the higher management of the company. But these things should not be accessible to the public, right? So these type of things are private, and to access them, we can create functions, right? So that's how the things work. So that's how we can ensure data privacy with C. With C, without OOPS it was not actually possible to create these type of things, because if we declare structures also, there is no context of this private and public there, right? Everything, we just have to create an instance of that, we can access anything we want, right? So that's not how it should work. OOPS is actually pretty much standard now. And yeah, so yeah, I haven't deliberately include the protected because you will not able to understand it unless you know inheritance, of course, right? So in the next module, right, we will discuss constructors, right? Because constructors are really important, and I guess you have learned this because these access modifiers are really important, and you should understand this in every detail. If you have any doubt, just ask in the comments now. Do as much practice as you want. Make real life cases real. There are endless of real life possibilities in this scenario, right? There is some IT company, there must be some defense department in the government where the intelligence is private, right? Intelligence is meant to be private. And there are a hell lot of examples that you can create. Just create those, right, and share with us, right? And if you have any doubt, just ask us, right? Because there is no point if you because this is pretty much standard, right? So good luck, and the next lecture we'll study constructors and destructors, right? So thanks, and we'll meet next time.